Bitcoin has broken below this support level that I've been talking about for multiple weeks. And if we look at this MACD histogram, we can see for basically the last month, we've had that downwards momentum in the MACD histogram. Plus Ethereum on the long-term time frame is still using this 20 exponential moving average as a long-term push to the upside, where we're right now in the value zone, expecting longer-term higher prices. Before I get started in the video, make sure to check out my trading masterclass that's 50% off right now using the link in the description, where I teach you everything you need to know how to become a consistently profitable trader in the market. Let's first begin with Bitcoin on the daily time frame. All through this area, through here, you can see that we were in that really strong support zone because we went up, we then came back and supported in this level. We went up, we then came back, supported in this level. We came up, came back and supported in this level again right through here. And what happened when this level right through here actually got broken through? It was a support zone, and look at what happened. It then acted as a resistance zone. Once we got this breakthrough on this big downwards bar here, you can see that we then used this zone as resistance. We then came into the value zone. So if we scroll into the chart here, you can see that we actually came into the value zone between the short and medium term exponential moving average, because since basically right through this region here, we've had a downwards trending exponential moving average on the daily time frame. So especially after we had this big break to the downside and we had a downwards trending EMA, it's telling us that when we come back into this value zone between the short and medium term exponential moving average, the overall want to be looking for shorts, as that's the higher probability. So people were looking for shorts, and they got that really strong push to the downside, over 2.5% to the downside. That's a really easy scalp to the downside. So overall, people are very, very happy with their overall trade. So you need to understand that once this support level gets broken through, it then acts as a resistance level. We're then struggling to break to the upside, and we're having continued downside momentum in this area. I quickly just want to scroll out to the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, because overall we are having that downwards momentum in this area on the daily time frame. When we scroll out and we look at the weekly time frame, we know that the long-term trend is pointing to the upside, and look at what's actually happening. We're right now coming into the value zone for Bitcoin because we have this upwards trending exponential moving average. Right through the short and medium term is the value zone. So right now we're coming into the value zone. So overall, as much as we are having that downwards momentum on the daily chart, the weekly chart still looks bullish for Bitcoin for the long-term time frame. And it's the exact same for Ethereum. Overall, long-term trend to the upside. We have the value zone between the short and medium-term exponential moving average, and look at what Ethereum is doing right now. We're right now in that value zone. So overall, understandably, why we did have that downwards momentum into this area, but it would make sense that right now we are looking for longs to the upside. This right now is truly the region that we do need to be seeing momentum to the upside, because if we don't, that what's going to happen is this overall exponential moving average is going to start pointing to the downside. Then we're going to have high probability of downside momentum, and that's definitely not what we want to see in the markets. So we need to be watching, as I like to trade, in the direction of the long-term trend. So if I know the weekly time frame has a high probability of moving to the upside, then I only want to be trading on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 5-minute time frame. Only want to be looking for longs to the upside to trade with the long-term overall trend. Now coming over to look at Dogecoin on the daily time frame. Overall, trend is to the upside. We were having some really strong momentum to the upside because of some tweets that Elon put out for Dogecoin. Overall, having this bull trend to the upside. We've got the long-term trend pointing to the upside, and look at what's happening. We're now coming into the value zone, and we're now having a doji candle where we came down into these prices. Then a lot of buyers came back, and we're now pushing prices to the upside. So overall, still looking very bullish for Dogecoin. Again, trying to look for riding longs to the upside. Overall, just looking for a scalp on this particular trade. If you were looking to trade in this region, really the goal is to understand where the trend is going. We know that the exponential moving average moving to the upside, high probability of movements to the upside. We now want to look we now want to look for a pullback into value zone, and that's what we've got here. We've got a pullback into value, which allows us to get a really good price on our entry, because if we were to buying up here, we still have a good probability on the trade, but overall we can see that we had a really strong push to the downside. So rather than buying high in this area, you want to be buying low, looking for the continued momentum to the upside. If we just look to the right here, we can see my watch list of a lot of different cryptos is currently definitely bearish. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Binance Coin slightly is the one that's actually currently having a bit of a bullish day, we can see currently on the chart, but a lot of these coins are definitely having a little downwards momentum. Obviously, we're so much higher above the exponential moving average, it makes sense to come back, have a retrace, come back to the average price, then continue to the upside. Overall, with Binance Coin, I have been saying that since we had a break above this exponential moving average and we finally had prices closing above, that would mean that the overall long-term trend to the downside would make sense that it's potentially coming over. Overall, we know that all through this area here, we had a long and downwards trending exponential moving average, and we never closed above this EMA for a very, very, very long time. And what's happening right now in the price? Price is currently closing above the exponential moving average, which then it hasn't done that before. So it's starting to show me that the potential shift in the market, and it's definitely showing right now. We're definitely in a bit of a trading range where prices are struggling to get high, prices are struggling to get low, but it makes sense after having this really strong downwards trending exponential moving average and market. If we just bounce between this up and lower bands, it makes sense that it allows this exponential moving average to finally turn to the downside, to finally turn sideways and then choose its final direction. Are we going to have that big movement to the upside? Are we going to have that continued momentum to the downside? So that's truly what this trading range momentum actually allows. It might not mean that the trend is going to break, but it is showing that right now there is definitely more bullish momentum than we've ever had in the last few months. So we just need to keep an eye on that. And you can see definitely in this last day having one of the biggest bullish days out of all the cryptocurrencies right now on the market. If we come over and look at Solana, the last few weeks of Solana, again, having that big bull trend to the upside, overall having this long trending exponential moving average pointing to the upside. Now, what's happened in this current market? We've come back into this value zone. We slightly closed above this exponential moving average. One day we closed below again, then we continued again to the upside. We then come back. We're coming back to retest this zone because this was the value zone. We are breaking slightly below it. The only thing that I don't like here is we've closed once below it. We've closed 2 times below it. We've then closed 3 times below it, and it looks like potentially today, if we don't have a long and strong bullish day, that we're going to close below the exponential moving average. Overall, very easy to structure a long-term profitable trade here, having somewhere between 1 to 3% risk. You can see if we structure the trade and we actually put it below the lows, we can have somewhere around that 3% risk on the current trade at this current price point. We would then look for somewhere around a 6% to 9% reward. So you can even see we're pulling back up to the old all-time high, that's 17%. So even if we're just looking in this region here, very easy to structure a long-term profitable trade. If you're willing to take the risk, you'd probably need to take a 3% risk because it would go below this swing low, and you'd look to target 6 to 9%, which would make sense in this region. Coming back to this high would actually be a 9% reward. So overall, not financial advice, but definitely what I'm looking at in the market and trying to figure out which is the best trade to actually take at this current price point. Make sure to check the description for my 50% off trading masterclass. Make sure to smash the like button, make sure to smash the subscribe button, and leave a comment if you've been enjoying these videos. If you'd like to continue watching a video on YouTube, click the video that's on your screen now to continue your trading journey for free.